Hey everyone, my name is Jimmy Saroka, James Saroka, and welcome to the broadcast. As you're coming in, say hello, let me know where you're from. I am from Pennsylvania in the United States, currently visiting in Georgia. Absolutely beautiful down here. Catherine, welcome on. Lulu, welcome to the party. Jessica, welcome to the party. Nate, welcome to the party. Barty, welcome to the party. Swesky, welcome to the party. Other Jessica, Tita, welcome on. Emily, welcome on. For the first minute or two of the broadcast, it's usually going to be me saying hello to everyone. It's just polite. Katie, welcome on. Welcome from Switzerland. Awesome. Yeah, as you're coming in, let me know where you're from. Katie is currently Guernsey. Where is that? Guernsey. Sith Lord, welcome to the party. Pariah, welcome on. Moon Baby Sherry, welcome from Texas. In Texas, can't leave, says Tita. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, thank you for spending some time with us. We appreciate having you here. Paula Jean, welcome to the party. Caitlin is currently making some hot dogs. Thank you very much, Kate. We have groceries. We were able to get our own groceries today, which was great. Blister, welcome to the party. Chaos, welcome to the party. Canada, welcome from Canada, Catherine. Sheila, welcome to the party. Emma Loney, Lady Irish, welcome to the party. Kimber, welcome to the party. Yes, so we were able to get our own groceries, which is fantastic. Very great feeling of personal control in our own lives to be able to, get that done. Now, like I said, we did get a little help, and also someone was able to give us a ride back from the grocery store, from Walmart, which was really good. Now, we don't have organic groceries. I'm not, like, hey, here I am, I'm so smart and special. It's just finally coming to the reality that, other people were helping me, and that, I'm sitting here I've been living a lifestyle that really, it doesn't match my income, right? And I didn't mean to be a facade or look fake. It really was that I'm like, this is a healthy way to live, this is what I'm sharing. But because there were pieces of it, really, really big pieces, that just didn't fit and weren't appropriate, it definitely left me very confused about my own lifestyle, and then confused when people were angry with me. And I know it might seem delusional that I could be confused about people's disappointment with that, but it was kind of like it had gone on for so long that where every time I would get a foothold, I would get sabotaged, and then so the mindset set in that was just normal and okay, which clearly it wasn't. So just getting back on track and doing things ourselves. We're not that we're fully doing things ourselves. Like I said, it's like I said, we may not be receiving support, but we are getting a little help here and there, and there's a difference. Support often includes a promise, right? Whereas now it's kind of just whenever people are willing to step out, we're grateful. But we're not necessarily seeking it out unless it's someone who is comfortable with that, which is very far and few between. And the platforms are building, and it's good. It's really good. And, living a lifestyle where we're now getting groceries as opposed to before when it was just like DoorDash and blah, blah, blah. And that's so nice and it's so great. Or organic food before where it really wasn't within a budget that we could, realistically see. Long term, we weren't being fair to ourselves, is really seeing how I've been willing to make every excuse for my own emotional issues that came from the brainwashing that I received, and using, whether it was a diet or whatever, actually to keep certain people in my life in a facet that they probably shouldn't be there. And I began to enable those people and enable myself to stay in a situation where I didn't want to let go of people that were in a position in my life that they really shouldn't have been in, but they were willing to put themselves in that position to either help me or thwart me. It's learning how to figure out who is who, but just looking at everyone and saying, well, everyone was trying to hurt me, it's paranoid. But looking and saying that everyone had a goal to help me would also be a bit delusional. So, it's, like I said, we have drawers full of food. As opposed to before, we would have a DoorDash meal and we'd have an empty fridge. Is we have a fridge full of groceries, and we have a drawer full of groceries. And that is just, it changes the mindset. It's just saying, wow, okay, look at how we're doing well. Now those groceries are pretty much peanut butter, bread, Velveeta. I know I said I'd say hi to everybody, I'm going to get around to it, I want you to hear this, and get it into the beginning of the broadcast while people are still watching, especially on replay. Velveeta, peanut butter, bread, very simple stuff. Just before anyone is worried whether or not we're splurging, we're not even getting like soft drinks, right? We don't even have soda or things like that. We have the basics, right? Hot dogs. We have the basics, which is good. I'm proud to say that even if we are poor, we are making responsible choices in a healthy direction. And our minds are getting healthier, our environment is healthier, we're around decent people. Like I said, we got a ride back from the grocery store today, and it was just a regular thing. Whereas before, it might have been, I was all worried that how I looked and all paranoid. I know that the situation is healthy and normal now. And so does Kate. And it only really started getting unhealthy because we believed everyone else that we were in a bad position. We really weren't. We could have just left our videos live. Caitlin and I make our content. The person who had moved in with us probably never should have moved in. But those are the choices that we all had made. And now we all have to live with that. Me included. But we're definitely making the best of it moving forward together. And a lot of people want to, in the past have been saying like, oh, you shouldn't move forward together. You should split up, and that's the answer. It's really not. And at least we're really hoping so, and we're really working towards that. And with everyone else on the outside of our environment, it's definitely proof that this can work, and that it is working. Because we're living our life like a regular life, no matter what that microscope of the internet makes it look, right? Whereas there's a lot of things that have happened where in real life something like that, maybe a couple people knew about it and everybody moves on. Whereas you throw it on the internet and people are trying to put a magnifying glass on one little really bad event, right? And just put a what do you call it, Kate? I just said it. A magnifying glass to it. And then say that's the whole reality. Just look at this piece, don't look at anything else. Even Caitlin is coming to see that there is a lot more to who I am and the life that I've lived than the pieces that you're seeing. And the pieces that you don't know about are much bigger, much more important. They're much more positive and good. And it doesn't make excuses for the poor things that have happened. But it is proof that essentially what I have to bring to the table and what Caitlin and I have to bring to the table as a couple is so much more of value exponentially, hundreds of times more exponentially, than anything you've seen from me until now. And Caitlin's going through that experience right now of realizing that she does know better about herself. I don't even know. And for whatever it's worth, I step back and I look at her and I say, hey, Kate, I'm not always going to be right about you. And sometimes I'm going to say things that I'm going to think I know about you. And if I'm wrong, it is your absolute right, responsibility, and it's your half of the relationship to open your mouth and say, hey, Jim, you're wrong. Because I'm not always going to know. There's only so much I can know. And that's any man. This goes out to any man who may be in an expectational relationship with a woman who, not that Kate does this all that often anymore, but in a relationship with a woman who may have very high expectations of you communicating for her without her having to communicate, right? It does go both ways. And I didn't want to admit to myself that I was in a relationship with someone who came from a situation where she did not communicate. She was not expected to communicate, and the communication was done for her. And then when I did not look like that male figure, it was believed that I was non-masculine. Whereas on screen it may have looked like I was very domineering. You can ask Caitlin behind the scenes for our entire relationship. I've always looked her dead in the eye and said, where's your half? Let me know who you are. And she saw that as weak. And while it's the most ironic thing that certain people had attempted to flip the story and make it look like I was the one in control, it was me not being willing to take control that really got under Kate's skin. And eventually, like I said, things just cracked because I would not do it. And what people saw of me was actually my defiance. I would not take control. And Caitlin had her own stuff going on. And now that we've worked that out, we're working that out, it is so freeing to be given permission to let it off my chest, to know that people are starting to see the story for what it is, and that we can all move forward. Because I would not take control. I wouldn't. That is actually why things went south, quote unquote. But if I had really taken control the way that it was requested of me, it would have been unhealthy for everyone, including me. Because I would have fed into my own pride far worse than it appears that I have. And I would have succeeded and become quite a monster, which I am not one. Now that Caitlin and I have come to more of an equilibrium and we've gotten everyone out of an environment that was unhealthy, now we're seeking out healthy relationships. And we have one or two. outside of our physical environment. Our physical environment is pretty awesome to begin with, but as you can imagine, because of our online environment, there's only so much that we can share. Because, you know what I mean? Because most people don't know, they can't grasp what happened on screen, and they would just view us falsely. Either one of us, they would, think the wrong thing of us. So, where do I go with this? Where am I trying to go with this?
That we're healthier, happier.
We're healthy and happy and grateful. And the excitement you're seeing from me is from something that happened off screen. It was, we got a ride home from the grocery store. And it was regular. There was no discomfort. It wasn't weird. It wasn't creepy. It wasn't like we were just some homeless people. Our narrative is finally being told correctly in real life. And slowly but surely, that will shift to the online platforms. That is a natural process that I have seen from this side of the screen over and over and over. As long as you live a good, healthy life, slowly but surely, that life will portray on screen. So Holly, welcome on. Sarah Wentz, welcome on. I'm at work with hardly any data, so I can't watch today. See you later. Emma stopped in. Thank you for stopping in. Jessica, thank you for listening. Thank you, everyone, for listening to that. It's very valuable to me that you know how things really went. And now it's, like I said, living in the present. But there's going to be pieces of it where you're going to be in the past. You're going to hear me talk about the past, but immediate pasts, right? But that might be the present to you. To me, that's the past. Even just talking about that car ride. But, talking about that is going to help you to come into the present that is here right now, because we hop on this screen and you hear my voice and it sounds like it used to, similarly. You see my nervousness and my angst, and it might seem like it used to. You see me sitting here in front of this little lamp, and there's just so many pieces of this equation that make it appear as things used to be, to a degree. And if you see content where we were in a different spot emotionally, psychologically, it may take you to a place where you believe that things are still how they were, and they are not. We are currently restricted on what we can share and how we can share it. In the past, we were not, right? But I was brainwashed to believe that I was restricted to do so. Now, because of how the climate is, it is more appropriate for our safety and for just keeping things at a healthy pace that we manage things appropriately. Give me 1 second. I think the maintenance guy's at the door. Give me 1 second.
Oh, it's Monday. Oh,
Housekeeping. 1 second. Yes, ma'am. All right, housekeeping is here. I have to go. It was good talking with everybody. It's nice to finally have housekeeping and not anything else. I'll talk to you guys very soon.